Hey, welcome back to another video. Okay, in this video, we are going to talk about the chapter number 7, that is organized planning. In last chapter, we are discussing about the imagination, and today we have the little study the chapter number 7 of organized people planning and the crystallization of desire into action. This is the sixth step towards reach. Okay. In this chapter, we have the 21 pages, and I upload the videos of part. Okay, part by part. Okay. The sixth step toward riches. You have believed that everything man creates or acquires begins in the form of desire. That desire is taken on the first lap of its journey, from the abstract to the concrete, into the workshop of the imagination, where plans for its transition are created or organized. In chapter 2, you were instructed to the six definite practical steps, as your first move is translating the desire for money into its monetary equivalent. One of these steps is the formation of a definite practical plan or plans through which this transformation may be made. You will now be instructed how to build plans which will be practical, visualized. Past is allow yourself to with a group as many people as you may need for the creation and carrying out for your plan and plans for the accumulation of money, making use of the mastermind principles described in a later chapter. Compliance with this instruction is absolutely essential. Do not neglect it. And second is, before forming your mastermind alliance, decide what advantages and benefits you may offer the individual members of your group in return for their cooperation. No one will work indefinitely without some form of compensation, and no intelligent person will either request or expect another to work without adequate compensation, although this may not always be in the form of money. Okay, ये money नहीं हो सकता, किसी और form से भी हो सकता है. Okay, and third is arrange to meet with the members of your mastermind group at least twice a week. इन वीक एक वीक में आप 2 बार भी मिल सकते हैं अपनी मास्टरमाइंड की ग्रुप की मेंबर के साथ एंड मोर ऑफन इट पॉसिबल until you have jointly perfected the necessary plan or plans for the accumulation of money. आप ना ग्रुप के साथ आप मिल के आप काम कर सकते हो या आप उनके साथ एक हफ्ते में 2 बार 3 बार मिल सकते हो. एंड थर्ड इज maintain the perfect harmony between yourself and every member of your mastermind group. If you fail to carry out this instruction to the letter, you may expect to meet with a failure. The mastermind principle cannot obtain where perfect harmony does not prevail. Keep in mind these facts. First is, you are engaged in an undertaking of major importance to you. To be sure of success, you must have plans which are faultless. And second is, must have the advantage of the experience, education, a native ability, and imagination of other minds. This is in harmony with the methods followed by every person who has accumulated a grand fortune. And no individual has sufficient experience, education, native ability, and knowledge to ensure the accumulation of a great fortune. Without the cooperation of other people, every plan you adopt in your endeavor to accumulate wealth should be the joint creation of yourself and every other member of your mastermind group. You may originate your own plans, either in whole or in part, but see that those plans are checked and approved by the members of your mastermind alliance. Okay, if the first plan which you adopt does not work successfully, replace it with a new plan. Okay, if your new plan fails to work, replace it in turn with still another, and so on until you find a plan which does not work. Right here is the point at which the majority of men meet with failure because of their lack of persistence of in creating new plans to take the place of those which fail. Okay, and another is the most intelligent man. Okay, the most intelligent man uh, most intelligent men living cannot succeed in accumulation money nor in any other undertaking without plans which are practical and workable. Just keep this fact in mind and remember, when your plans fail, a temporary defeat is not permanent failure. It may only mean that your plans have not been sound. Build other plans, start all over again. Thomas A. Edison failed 10,000 times before he perfected the incandescent electric light bulb. That is, he met with temporary defeat 10,000 times before his efforts were crowned with success. Temporary effects would mean only one thing, the certain knowledge that there is something wrong with your plan. Millions of men go through life in misery and poverty because they lack a sound plan through which they accumulate a fortune. Henry Ford accumulated a fortune. Okay. Fortune not because of his superior mind, but because he adopted and followed a plan which proved to be sound. 1,000 men could be pointed out, each with a better education than Ford's, yet each of whom lives in poverty because he does not possess the right plan for the accumulation of money. Your achievement can be no greater than your plans are sound. That may seem to be an axiomatic statement, but it is true. Samuel Insull lost his fortune of over $100 million. Okay, business the million dollars. The Insull fortune was built on plans which were sound. The business depression forced Mr. Insull to change his plans, and the change brought temporary defeat because his new plans were not sound. Mr. Insull is now an old man. He may consequently accept failure instead of temporary defeat, but if his experience turns out to be failure, it will be for the reason that he lacks the fire of persistence revealed to his plans. No man is ever whipped until he quiets in his own mind. This fact will be repeated many times because it is so easy to take the count at the first sign of defeat. James J. Hill met with temporary defeat when he first endeavored to raise the necessary capital to build a railroad from the east to the west, but he too turned defeat into victory through new plans. Henry Ford met with temporary defeat not only at the beginning of his automobile career, but after he had gone far toward the top. He created new plans and went marching on to financial victory. We see men uh, who have accumulated great fortunes, okay, but we often recognize only the triumph, overlooking the temporary defeat which they had to surmount before arriving. No follower of this philosophy as can reasonably expect to accumulate a fortune without experiencing temporary defeat. When defeat comes, accept it as a signal that your plans are not sound. Rebuild those plans and set sail once more toward your coveted goal. If you give off before your goal has been reached, you are quieter. And a second is a quieter never wins and a winner never quiets. ओके जो एक चीज़ को आधे से छोड़ के जाता है क्विट करता है वो कभी जीत नहीं सकता एंड जो जीतता है ना वो कभी क्विट नहीं करता Left this sentence out, write it on a piece of paper in letters, and inside high, and place it where you will see it every night before you go to sleep, and every morning before you go to work. When you began to select members for your mastermind group, and about to select those who do not take defeat seriously, and some people foolishly believe that only money can make money. This is not true. Desire transmuted into its monetary equivalent through the principles laid down here is the agency through which money is made. Money of itself is nothing but insert matter cannot move think and talk but think or talk. But it can hear when a man who desires it calls it to come. Planning the sales of service. The reminder of has this chapter has been given over to a description of ways and means of marketing personal services. The information here conveyed will be of practical help to any person having any form of personal services to market, but it will be of priceless benefit to those who aspire to leadership in their chosen occupations. Intelligent planning is essential for success in any undertaking designed to accumulate riches. Here will be found detailed instructions to those who must begin the accumulation of riches by selling personal services. It should be encouraging to know that practically all the great fortunes began in the form of compensation and for the person's personal service or from the sales of ideas. What else except ideas and the personal services would one not possessed of property have to give in return for riches? Broadly speaking, there are two types of people in the world. One type was known as leaders and those other as followers. Decide at the outset whether you intend to become a leader in your chosen calling or remain a follower. The difference in compensation is vast. The follower cannot reasonably accept the compensation to which a leader is entitled, although many followers make the mistake of expecting such pay. It is no disgrace to be a follower. On the other hand, it is no credit to remain a follower. Most great leaders began in the capacity of follower. They become great leaders because they were intelligent followers. With few exceptions, the men who cannot follow the leader intelligently cannot be intelligently cannot become An efficient leader. The man who can follow a leader most efficiently is usually the man who develops into leadership most rapidly. An intelligent follower has many advantages. Among them, the opportunity to acquire knowledge from his leader. Okay, and the major contributes of leadership. अगर leadership में आप क्या contribute करता है leadership ना. Okay, the following important factors of leadership. पहला होता है unwavering courage. Based upon knowledge of self and one's occupation, no follower wishes to become dominated by a leader who lacks of self-confidence and courage. No intelligent follower will be dominated by such a very long. First is unwavering courage and second is self-control. अपने ऊपर कंट्रोल करना. The man who cannot control himself can never control others. Self-control sets a mighty example for one's followers. Okay, which more intelligent will emulate. And third is a keen sense of justice. Without a sense of fairness and the justice, no leader can command and retain the respect each his followers. Keen sense of justice that. And fourth is definiteness of decision. The man who wavers in his decisions shows that he is not sure of himself. He cannot lead others successfully. Hmm. Definiteness and third is definiteness of plans. The successful leader must plan his work, and work is planned. A leader who moves by guesswork without practical, definite plans is comparable to a ship without a rudder. Sooner or later, he will land on the roads, rocks. Okay, definite of plans. And sixth is the habit of doing more than paid for. One of the penalties of leadership is the necessary of willingness. Often, the part of a leader to do more than require of followers. Okay. And seventh is pleasing personality. Okay. No slovenly, careless person can become a successful leader. Leadership calls for respect. Followers will not respect a leader. Respect. Followers will not respect a leader who does not grade high on all of the factors of a pleasing personality. Sympathy and aid sympathy and understanding. The successful leader must be in sympathy with his followers, with his what? Preaching, with his followers, and moreover, he must understand them and their problems. Mastery of detail. Successful leadership calls for mastery. Mastery. Okay, sorry for disturbing here. Okay, and ninth is mastery of detail. Successful leadership calls for the mastery of details of leader's position. And tenth is willingness to assume full responsibility. The successful leader must be willing to assume responsibility for the mistakes and the shortcomings of his followers. If he tries to shift his responsibility, he will not remain the leader. If one of his followers makes a mistake and shows himself incompetent, the leader must consider that it is he who failed. And 11th is cooperation. The successful leader must understand and apply the principle of cooperative effort and be able to induce his followers to do the same. Leadership calls for power and power calls for cooperation. There are two forms of leadership. The first and by far the most effective is leadership by the consent of the with the sympathy of others. And second, leadership is force without the children, without the constant consent and the sympathy of the followers. History is filled with evidence that leadership by force cannot endure. The downfall of disappearance of divisions. Hmm. Okay. History is filled with evidence the leaders by the force cannot endure. Downfall and the disappearance of dictators and kings is significant. It means that people will not follow forced leadership indefinitely. The world has just entered a new era of relationship between leaders and followers, which very clearly calls for new brand of leadership in business and industry. Those who belong to the old school of leadership by force must acquire an understanding of the new brand of leadership, cooperation, or be relegated to the rank and the file of the followers. There is no other way out for them. The relationship of employer and the employee, or the leader and follower, in the future will be one of the mutual cooperation based upon an equitable division of the profits of business. In the future, the relationship between employer and employer will be more like a partnership than it has been in the past. Napoleon Kaiser Wilhelm of Germany, the Kaiser of Russia, and the King of Spain were examples of leadership by force. Their leadership was without much difficulty. Okay. One might point to the prototypes of these ex-leaders among the businesses, financial, and labor leaders of. Hmm. Business, financial, and the labor leaders of America who have been dethroned or slated to go. Leadership by consent of the followers is the only brand which can endure. Men may follow the force leadership temporarily, but they will not do willingly. The brand new brand of leadership will embrace the 11 factors of leadership described in this chapter, as well as some other factors. The man who makes this the basis of his leadership will find abundant opportunity to lead in any walk of life. The depression was prolonged largely because the world lacked leadership of the new brand. At the end of the depression, the demand for the leaders who are competent to apply the new methods of leadership has greatly exceeded the supply. Some of the old type of leaders will reform and adapt themselves to the new brand of leadership. But generally speaking, the world will have to look for new timber for its leadership. Its necessity may be your opportunity. Okay,